Alrighty then. What's up, dudes?
What up?
Hey.
Welcome to episode 115 of the Tales from Greenwood podcast.
Damn, we're getting up
Howi
there.
Spangler.
Yeah,
Yes.
wow.
I got the current Ballyhoo tour manager, Alex Wright, over here. I have one of the first Ballyhoo tour managers, Steve Donovan, right there, and the intermittent sort of when we need him tour manager, Daniel Briones.
Yeah, I'm the pinch
Also known as
hitter.
Deborah.
Yep.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Busy. Really busy.
Yeah.
Stacked.
Doing a lot with my days.
Calendar is like just.
Yeah, sometimes I sit over there.
Yeah. That's great. So, how are you guys handling the quarantine?
Basically the same way we handle every single time you're not on tour.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Try to never go out into public.
Yeah.
Try to avoid anything that's going on politically, religiously, anything.
Large crowds.
Try.
Yeah. And then count the days till you can go out again, which now is who knows when, right?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Does anyone have a homie in that like knows the scoop and knows when this is all over? When they're just gonna
Somebody's got to know somebody at the Pentagon, right?
yeah.
Did they know? Do they even know?
Did they even know?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Anybody know anyone that works for Corona Beer that can let us know what the heck's going on?
Seriously. How many Coronas can you drink before you get the COVID? Like
4.
Is it 4 Coronas?
4.
Damn.
Yeah. You got to think like if like Corona Beer is like just sitting back and being like, from a marketing angle, where do we go right now? What do we do? You know, like
Yeah, it's definitely not good for the brand.
they're definitely keeping quiet.
I wonder how sales actually did there at the beginning. If it dipped,
Yeah.
or maybe
It did dip.
maybe it got better. Maybe
No, it dipped for a little bit.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like people were like, what beer should we buy? And someone's like, well, I know what's on my mind.
Yeah. So yeah, let's introduce you guys. So this is live right now, so we got some people in the chat here. If you guys have questions about questions about the industry or
That's the thing.
tour management or cool stuff like that behind the scenes, throw them at us. We'll bring them in later. So let's see. Alex is our current tour manager, and I need you guys to just go around and say what era you were in the Ballyhoo camp, and how wonderful it was to work for such great bosses.
Yeah.
That's when you let everyone know what good dudes we are.
This is fake news.
Yeah.
I mean, it all started when he called himself the boss, right?
I will now read.
You called me
I
the
will now
boss.
read
Technically,
from the script that Howie emailed us.
yeah. Everybody, there's 2 or 3 lines per question. You guys can read one of them as an answer. Just let me, one of those. Donovan, you did call me the boss though right before we started going. So you did say that when I came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, these are facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alex, how's it going?
It's going, man.
Yeah.
It's going, yeah.
Start us off, Alex.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Alex. I've been with the Ballyhoo guys since 2015.
Wow.
Pretty much from when Fast Times was recorded to now. And that was like my first toe dip in the industry. Like I'd played in bands and stuff before that and knew nothing. I was the guy turning my amp up while the monitor guy was like, don't do that. And they've taught me everything. Everybody in these screens has taught me a bunch about my job. And now I'm pretty okay at it.
I'd say you're pretty damn good at it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. All we did
You
was
got
do all the bad habits. That's all we did.
Yeah. It's true, but they work.
We taught you what not to do.
So, DB, you're like our go-to guy.
I do all the shows that Alex doesn't want to do.
I started catching on to that.
Yeah, basically the second half of 2019 was, oh, I don't want to tour with Ballyhoo for the rest of this year. You do it. And then come 2020, Ballyhoo goes to the Virgin Islands, and Alex goes, I'm back.
I got this, kid.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to take this one.
The only reason I'm okay with it is because I went to the Virgin Islands with Pacifier like a few weeks later. So it's fine. It's fine. We fixed the glitch. You're fine.
Good.
I thought I was going to have to fill in for Alex on this podcast. It was just going to be two of me on this.
That'd be great. Steve Donovan, when did you come
I
into the
started with
fold?
Ballyhoo in 2012, right after the Daydreams record came out. And it was a pretty great ride for 7 months. And then I switched over to Tribal Seeds. And then I came back, and, we've worked together a couple different times over the years. I filled in for Alex too and DB. So I'm like third in line now to those two. But Ballyhoo started my career, man, and it's been a wild ride ever since.
I actually think I was there the day you were hired, actually, because I remember going to a Warped Tour in Chicago.
That was the day, man.
And I remember, I went, and Howie put me on the list or whatever, and I showed up, and I was just like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" And then you showed up all wide-eyed and this kid.
Yeah, that was a wild first day.
I was like, "Yeah, we hired this dude yesterday. Either it's going to be a great idea or a terrible idea."
Yeah, I sold him, man. But man, that was it was funny. It was funny because Howard and Donald peered over me at the venue a couple days before, and they're like, "Are you sure you can do this?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I think so, man. I mean, we'll figure it out."
Your dicks, what's happening here?
Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was funny too because then the next day or whenever they hired me, 2-3 days later, Christian Brandmeier, who is Dirty Heads TM and now Dirty Heads day-to-day manager and Sublime's day-to-day manager, he introduced me to Christian, and then Christian took me to production and taught me the ropes day one. And Howie's like, just listen to everything he says. Real boss mode,
I remember that. Yeah,
day one, man. Christian
was really happy to. He had no problem. Send him over.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah, he's such a good dude, man.
Yeah, we're still friends to this day, man. Love the guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's good.
Man, was that 8 years ago?
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Stop wearing a watch.
Donna, what year was that? 2012?
Yeah.
2012. Yeah.
2012. Wow.
I met Pacifier that year too. We went to one of their shows. That's where I met Ernie too.
Ernie. Oh no.
Yeah.
Is he alive? Does anybody know?
I haven't heard from
Yeah,
him.
he's alive. I saw him. We played disc golf in the snow a couple months ago. They came out here for the disc golf cup or whatever they call it. Chips was out here too.
Oh
Of
my
course.
God. I genuinely got concerned. I was like, wait a minute. Is he alive? Is he okay?
Yeah. He's doing just fine.
Cool. Wow, 2012. That makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, we were all younger.
Yeah.
You and Donald and Scott were still pretty old, but we were younger.
True. You guys were in your 20s.
Yeah. Hey, Howard, when did I feel like I should know this. When did Ballyhoo start or become a band or start, actually mattering?
We started in 95, but it didn't matter until 2006.
That's a long time to be like, guys, this doesn't matter. That's a lot of
I don't know what we're doing tonight, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah, there was
that should have
11
been
years.
Ballyhoo's name, actually.
What's that?
That should have been Ballyhoo's actual band name. Just doesn't matter. Huh?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it was like 11 years. We didn't know how to tour. We didn't know how to get on tour. And finally, 2006, we did it. And in 2010, we got our first tour managers. And then we had Carlos Estevez.
Mhm.
Was
Oh, my man.
our first, like,
Carlos,
I
yes.
think, real
Yes.
tour manager. Yeah, it's funny, man. We always had this joke about Ballyhoo had what was the big acronym that I created or something? Remember that, Alex? Like it was this stupid long.
It was really long. I can't remember it, but
Yeah,
it's
but it
pretty
was
much
like,
a training school for crew.
yeah, exactly. And so like we had always had the joke is like, well, we train people up and we're really good at training because we're not like mean, but like we're like thorough. We're like make sure this, make sure that, make sure.
But you've all been doing it yourselves so long, so you all know exactly what to do from all angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we
They also
trained
got to
people
learn
up-
from 311 too, which was beneficial.
Oh man, after that 2008 show, we learned a lot about touring and stuff, and yeah.
There's
And then-
always
I just remember when I started, and you were like, "Well, this is how 311 would have done
Yeah, that's true.
it."
there's always that one tour that you'll remember that's like, yeah, that was the tour that we realized we didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Just seeing how simple it was to like get guest list and submit like your rider, your hospitality, all that stuff, and like it was just you tell her Erico, that was their hospitality manager back then, and she would just okay, and then like an hour later, everything's done, like it's all there. Maybe not even an hour later, it was just done. You know, it was so simple. You tell her one thing, and the chain of command is like so tight and just fluid. You know, it's just like a machine when those guys tour. You know, and it was our first like real look into, you know, how a tour is supposed to be run. So we just took a lot of notes and learned a lot. You know, so.
So just as a note to all the fans watching and listening, most tours aren't like that. Most tours,
What do you
ask
mean?
for things and nothing happens.
You deal with promoters not wanting to give you what they agreed to normally, trying to stiff you on the money, on the hospitality money.
Yeah, that's
Remember,
fun.
one of Donovan's things was like, no, just give me the fucking money
It's
and I'll
fucking
take care of
Amy.
it. Right? We said we wanted to create a Donovan soundboard because he had like 16 things that he said. I'll
I
take
still
care
want
of it.
that.
Was
Can
one
we
of them.
record that after this?
Yeah, we should totally do that.
Yeah,
I think I still
virtual
did.
versions of ourselves, so we don't have to actually go.
That's the next thing after this.
You just press the button.
Yeah. Dude. Wait a second. Dude. Yeah, I'll take care of it. But, you know, so, and every tour manager has their own style. You know, but anybody that we kind of trained up, we just try to make sure that they understood all the parts of it. And then you guys were able to just take it and just run with it. You're all very good at what you do. Like reading contracts, and that's where I get weird. You know, I'm not good at like all the little things and the details, and that stuff really counts. I mean, you could be missing out on money that you're not aware of because
You have to know how to
the
read.
contract.
So.
Yeah. Reading is a good thing, first off. But
I learned the maths, and then I learned words good, and
Math and
contracts are.
But, yeah, no, it's great. It's great to watch you guys work, and it's just, I don't know. You want to tell a little bit about, like, I don't know, what's your guys' experiences? Do you guys enjoy your jobs? Like,
Mostly.
Ugh.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Well,
We don't enjoy our jobs right now because we get no unemployment now because we're independent contractors. So yeah, that part sucks.
If you're in Maryland, you can get it, but the website is down like all the time. So,
Yeah.
you can
I
apply.
went through
anyway.
all the stuff to go through PPP and SBA, and I spent all day yesterday and the day before trying to do it, and then today they were just like, "Up, try another lender."
Yeah, I've been trying to, and they're like, oh wait, you're an independent contractor or self-employed. They're like, we'll get to you. We'll get to you. Okay, it's a walk-up town. All right, it's a walk-up town. We're getting a lot of calls.
We've been getting calls all day.
Getting a lot of calls.
For
Well,
everyone
I
out
love
there,
what I do still.
that's the lingo of promoters, that when you're asking about pre-sale, like ticket sales, and they're low, promoters are just like, it's a walk-up town. We'll get a lot of walk-ups, getting a lot to you hear it every time.
Yeah, they don't want to tell you to your face that no one's coming to the show. So they're like, well, we've been getting a lot of calls. They're like, it's a walk-up town. And it's like, really? It's like January in Chicago and there's a blizzard. And you're like, really? It's a walk-up town right now?
Every time I hear that now, I just laugh and I'm just like, dude, tell me the truth.
Yeah.
I'm feeling really good about it. No.
I've only had one promoter actually, like, and just because it was like a personal friend, actually like look me in the eye and be like, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It's real bad.
Donovan, you had a pretty tight ship over there with Tribal Seeds back in the day. You guys were you were handling shit. You know.
Yeah.
We did those. We did 2 tours. Were you on both of the tours that we did?
I was with you guys for the first one. That's where Tribal Seeds met me. And then the second one, you guys came out. And then Gonzo opened, remember? Beyond Dive Side.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, you guys taught me really like what to do at the beginning. And those guys kind of opened me up to the opportunity to like really learn, because I ended up going out on tour with Slightly Stupid with them for like 5 months, like when I first started touring with them. And I got to learn from those guys, and like talk about a tight ship. Stupid is, you know, they've taught like so many people in this genre of music, you know, how to do it right. And I was real lucky, man. Those guys really took me under their wing. I was kind of doing a lot and on an amphitheater tour, and them and Atmosphere kind of took me under their wing, taught me a lot of stuff, which, you know, made a world of difference to my like continued success in the industry, you know? So yeah, I mean, I love what I do, man. In the end, like we create experiences in life for people, and like that's why I got into it. And I'm just lucky that I met you guys when I did, and you know, you guys gave me the opportunity that you did, you know, and you know, I got DB's heartstrings.
Yeah. I'm just excited to see Donovan, because I haven't seen him in what did we decide when we were
August.
August? Okay, yeah. So it's been a while. It's been a while since we see each other. Yeah. And like Alex and I see each other almost too often.
Did I see you at the wedding? Was that the last time?
Yeah, the wedding. Yeah, the wedding was like, that's where everyone met up. Well, except for Howard, because he was invited but didn't go. Wah, wah.
Or
He was on tour. That's when I filled in for the 3 days for Alex so that he could go to the wedding.
That's right. I forgot about that.
full circle. And it's funny because we went there and everyone was just like, "Oh, they're off for 3 days." No, we tour managed a wedding.
No, yeah,
we had walkie-talkies. We were plugging XLRs in, home running power to the house. It was
between myself, Alex, Kyle, who Pacifiers merch guy, and just everyone else that like we all had like walkie-talkies, and we were running around like basically just putting out a million fires at this wedding. Just because when you do a DIY wedding, that's what happens. And it was kind of like perfect example for like this podcast of like tour managing, where it's just like it's something you can't like turn off, you know. Like Alex and I easily could have just gotten shit faced, which we did eventually.
We worked. We were just drunk, way drunker
for several days. However, it was like, hey, this, and this hasn't happened yet, and Ted and Bree are gonna walk down the aisle in like T-minus 10 minutes, and so it was like, oh god, everyone grab walkie-talkies. Also, put your tie on.
I heard that was a great wedding. It sucked we had to miss it. Because my plan was I thought we had off that day. I was going to fly home for it. And then we ended up booking, I think, that Saturday or something. Was it a Saturday or Sunday?
That wedding honestly lasted probably like a week long. There was like a pre-party, a pre-wedding, the rehearsal dinner, and everyone was flying into town. And I don't know. I know Alex and I together were on site for what? How long were we there? Like 5 days?
I love how he calls it on site.
Yeah, we were at the venue.
Oh, yeah, we were on site. Yeah.
Days.
It
Yeah.
was
doors. How much was
Basically, the promoter blew it on that venue also.
Doors were open the whole time. It was like a bar show.
Yeah.
it was soft ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite part of that wedding, just talking about people that were there and who weren't and whatnot, and how Howi's saying, like, I couldn't make it because I had a show or whatever. My favorite is Brandon Hardesty from Bumpin' Uglies. Something happened where like his wife showed up on time. She was there for the ceremony or whatever. And then just before like dinner started, he shows up like frazzled, like his tie is all on, his hair. It looked like he'd already been at the wedding all day
It's
long.
like somebody pushed him out of the car at the end of the driveway and he just walked down.
Yeah, like he was part of like a heist or something, and just with his mask off, you know? And we were like, what in God's name? Like, I'm in line with a plate of food, and he goes by like total like Rodney Dangerfield, like, ugh. And I guess like they had just done a show like the night before or that day or something, and like their van like broke down or exploded or something. Like he had just had the worst day of his life. Like absolutely everything bad that could have happened on tour happened, but at a show at home, and like he barely made it on time for the wedding. And I was just like, dude, you want to like sit down, like take a nap or something? Like, are you all right? but he killed it, and he kind of handled it the same way, like tour manager style, where he just showed up and he was like, hey, I'm here. How can I help? What's going on? You know, whatever. It's just like, no, relax, dude.
We have the walkie-talkie. Sit down.
Yeah. Don't touch my walkie-talkie.
So let's see, Donovan, you've been doing a lot of those big festivals, man, like Reggae Rise Up and stuff. Like that's really cool to see you getting into that, kind of springboarding from the tour managing thing to actually managing a festival. I mean, I rode around the golf cart with you last summer, and it was pretty crazy, man. You were busy all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely moving all day long. You know, Vaughn and Joey over at Live Night Events brought me into that. We had made friends years ago when I was tour managing Tribal Seeds going through the depot in Utah, and me and Vaughn always just became like good friends off that. So when he asked me to come in and do it, like I was all about it. You know, I had gotten off the road tour managing for the most part after like my son was born, and it was just a good way to get back into the industry, get back into the genre that like I came up in, and continue to support like all the bands that, you know, we work with. So, I mean, it's awesome, dude. I love doing the festivals. I, you know, do a couple other festivals too, and stage manage, and, you know, I production manage the Reggae Rise Up ones. And yeah, it was an awesome transition over, you know, definitely a big learning experience, you know, like advancing, you know, 30 plus bands instead of just 3 on tour, you know, but, you know, overall it ran pretty smooth. You know, I definitely ran around a lot, you know, but definitely learned a lot that first one. And I look forward to the Florida one, Vegas ones coming up, you know, just happy to be working with those guys. It's been great.
Yeah, we get psyched when we see your name on the production.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Dono. Yes.
I was just thinking that, like, I was at several of the festivals that you were working, and I remember being on site, and festivals are crazy because there's just so much going on. It's hard to get a hold of people and who's in charge and whatnot. And so it's like, you're trying to get hospitality, you're trying to get this, trying to get a hold of people, and they're trying to radio people, getting golf cart. And then it clicks in my head, like, wait, Donovan's working this festival.
Yeah, that's where the problem really
That makes it worse for you.
Yeah, because I worked with, like, when I stopped working with Tribal initially, you know, Dan and Amy at Cali Roots brought me in, and I got to learn a lot from them, you know, like they really do it right over there at Cali Roots, like on my, you know, my point. And, you know, I think they just do a great job logistically with that festival. And I got to learn a lot through that. But like, yeah, like the problem is like I've toured with all these bands, so like I'm friends with all of the bands, and so like once they find out that I'm there, then it's like direct line, you know. And they know that I'm not going to say no.
Yeah, we totally
them out. You know what I mean? So it sucks.
Hey, Calvin, get us more beer. Yeah. What do you mean no? Get us more beer.
You'll see on the Florida Festival the new like festival info sheet is pretty dialed up for everybody to go to the proper people, you know. But I'm there, you know. I'm there if you need me.
That's another Donovan-ism. Shit's dialed up.
Yeah. I mean, it's important for us to stay organized as like tour managers and production managers, you know, like it's, you know, what we do is like logistics, you know, more than anything else, and accounting, obviously. But I mean, trying to, you know, run all these different people and, you know, make sure these shows happen like from city to city. And it's a lot of work, you know, so.
It's a lot of doing stuff on your phone. Like, obviously our jobs consist of us constantly like doing stuff on our phones and like answering people and whatnot. It makes us look like we're terrible at our jobs on site though. It looks like the only thing we're doing is like on our phones, on like, you know, Instagramming and blah, blah, blah. When really it's like, oh, guess this. Oh my God. That. Oh, that thing that the singer asked me to do like an hour ago. Totally forgot. Got to do that real quick.
And a lot of times for like independent bands, smaller touring bands like ours and others, you're doing like kind of double work. You're tour managing and you're like teching and setting up the stage. It's not just like, you know, barking orders and taking care of stuff. You're like also involved in the setup process, the breakdown. You're involved in like Alex does a lot of our tech stuff and our production stuff, even like with the geysers, triggering those, and you know, most importantly, bringing out the fan and throwing the wig on me, stuff like that. So there's a big job, you know, and I never used to understand, like back in the day. It took me a while to wrap my brain around why TMs get paid more than the artists. I used to think like, well, but we're the artists, you know, and that's just a matter of being green, you know, not knowing and inexperienced and never having a real crew and stuff. After so many years of doing it and so many people we've gone through, and then obviously seeing other bands that we're on tour with and stuff, and seeing how they're, and especially when it's like a bigger tour too, you see like you can't really talk to these people because they're just, these guys are running around all day long. And so you realize like, oh, that's why they get paid more than us, because they're really busting their asses for us, you know. And I always appreciated it. I just didn't. It took a while to click, you know. And then it got to a point where we could actually afford to start paying better and things. And you know, I remember like trying to offer guys like $150, you know, like come on, just, you know, come on out, free beer, you know. But but tour managing is a serious job, man. It's like really, but it can be very fulfilling, I imagine. You get to go to a lot of cool places. Alex, you went last year. You were out with Last Dinosaurs, and you guys went all over the place. And you said you had a great time with them, right?
Those guys, yeah, it was amazing. It was they're from Australia, and I hadn't I didn't know about them before that too much, and then we go to like California and go to like a 1,200 cap room and it's just full. Like, oh shit! Like I hadn't. It was wild, but it was a different kind of tour because we had a bandwagon and I didn't have to drive at night. And our sound, Ballyhoo's sound guy, or one of them, Zach, he was tour managing, so it took a lot off my plate and I could concentrate on all the tech stuff. That was nice.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. When you don't have to TM, you just tech instead of doing both jobs. Phenomenal.
I would just go into my bunk and
yeah.
When I teched for Michael Franti and Spearhead, dude, it was like I didn't know what to do with myself all day. I was like, wait, I don't have any responsibilities right now. This is awesome.
I would still automatically try and help with the TM stuff. Zach and I work really well together, and he's an awesome tour manager. I mean, with Ballyhoo, he's just doing the sound and helping with the stage and patching and stuff. But when he TMs, he turns it on. So props to Zach Bonin. Love you, bud.
Yeah.
Love that guy too, man.
Yeah. Going back to what you were saying about like if you get a gig that's only one job, like just teching or just tour managing, it reminded me of, I think it was like last Cali Roots or the one before, where Howie, you guys actually brought me and Alex out together for Alex to do TMing, and you guys brought me out to tech. And I remember being on stage and like doing tech things, but then also wanting to do other things. And like both you, Howie, and Alex had to keep being like, "You're just teching. Like just fix this guitar."
I mean, thank God you were there, because we had, as usual at festivals, no, it's a soft patch. No, it's 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I'm over there trying to fix the patching, and I could not have done anything on stage. And DB set up pretty much most of it, and we started right on time.
Always start on time.
Beautiful.
That's and anyone, people asking questions like, you know, TMing, whatever, blah, blah. Number one rule, start on time, no matter what. Even if lead singer's naked, even if he's not dressed yet, dress him on the fly. Start on time. Start on time. And stop on time.
Yeah.
That's the more important.
Yeah, that's huge.
Big one.
Yeah.
So many bands don't get that.
I know. And that goes with, especially if you're like touring with, if you're like the headlining band of the show. And it's like, it's not a knock to the bands that are supporting to say like, hey, stop on time, stop on time, stop on time. But what I think a lot of bands don't understand is like, if the opening band or the next band, if they go like 2 minutes over, 5 minutes over, that like cascades. It starts, it's a slippery slope that like, well, then set change goes over. And then the next band starts late, and they're going to end late. And then, you know, and really it ends up ruining it for the fans, because then in the end, it ends up falling on the headliner having to shorten their set time, you know, to make up the difference in time or whatever. And it just ends bad. So just start on time.
Thing. Yeah.
Start on time.
It's just respect.
We had this festival curse for years where that would happen to us. So like we've always been really good about getting on and off when we're supposed to, and sometimes we go over every now and then. It just happens. But you'll have these like little support, like local support bands that have played like 2 gigs in their life or something, and they just want to play every song they've ever written and covers and shit. and they want to, you know, it's a festival, and they're like, oh, we got one more song, and it's like,
And it's a minute left.
8 minutes,
Yeah.
there's a minute left, and like. So when that happens several times before our set, because, you know, we play later in the day. So,
All right.
so
All right.
Nice.
But the sun is still up. He's saying later, but it's not
later, but not much later. So the
Reggae Rise Up set time just got earlier, dude.
1 o'clock.
totally fucking around. But yeah, by the time it gets to us, we're the band that has to make it up. We're the band that's like, that they're coming to us, okay, guys, sorry, you got to cut 10 minutes. Oh, you got 25 minutes set now. That it would always happen to us, you know, because these little bands before us would just keep playing. And like you said, it cascades. It creates a snowball effect. And all of a sudden, we got to make up the time because the headliners got to play their time, you know. So finally, that hasn't happened for a while. But, man, for several years, every time we played a festival, it was like, you know, we get fucked over like that. But
Yeah, it's we very well could go over and play the extra song, but like it's a matter of professionalism. Like, we're not going to be those guys.
Yeah.
The guys before us did it. That's not us.
Yeah.
We're going to do our thing, get off, and
Respect.
that's just what you got to do. Yeah,
I mean, obviously that falls a lot on, you know, the crew, you know, getting on time, and the tour manager making sure start time and end time. And it's kind of just something you learn. I know I can speak for all of us. Like, someone at some point told us, like, start on time, stop on time, like, no matter what. And like, I see examples of it. Like we were talking about Christian Brandmeier earlier. I remember several Cali Roots ago where one of the later artists, I honestly don't remember who it was performing, and I remember they started like 10, 15 minutes late. And it could have been for whatever reasons. Like, honestly, I think someone said like the artist hadn't just decided not to show up or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, but the Dirty Heads were playing after them. And like, obviously, if one artist starts late, you know, the times are going to fall over. The next artist is probably going to start late. And I just remember being in the crowd watching, and I knew that Christian Brandmeier was that day tour managing Dirty Heads, and they started exactly on time, like to the second. Like, and I even call it. I remember who I was hanging out with. I was like, Christian's over there. I guarantee you they will start on time to the second. Sure enough, lights went dark exactly on time, and I was like, oh, there you go. It's a good tour manager.
Yeah, and even when you start on time, like if you got to hurry up, like somebody went over and you start on time, that still creates more work because people teching are trying to fix shit on the fly while the band's starting to play.
Yeah,
it does just cascade. I watched there was what was it, Pot of Gold festival a couple years ago.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a fun day.
That was here in Arizona. Yeah.
But Revolution was about to start, and I think Zach was having trouble with his like trumpet wireless. They're trying to get the monitors right, and Brian just walks over, like cool as a cucumber, with his sun hat still on, just like hardwire it. Let's go. They just did it and went.
Yeah, it's literally, sometimes you gotta like fake it to start on time. There's been so many times where like there's literally 30 seconds left till your start time or whatever, and it's like, oh, there's 9 things I needed to do. I'll do it while the band's playing. They'll never notice. The band will never know. They'll know, but they'll be busy entertaining to know that we're doing whatever it is we're doing in the background that we told them was done. Like, yeah, we're good to go.
Anytime that happens, Donald will always catch me though. He's like,
yeah.
That guy's a hawk.
Yeah, and he can also just like reach you with his long ass arms, no matter where he is too. So
it's funny. We did this live. We did the live stream, and he had a talkback mic to like the crew and stuff. And he's never had one before, but he's never needed one because if he needs something on stage, I hear him no matter where I am, with ears in, no matter what. Ah!
Everybody hears Donald, man. The guy drunk in the bathroom taking a piss heard Donald talk.
It's funny you say that because with me touring with Pacifier, it wasn't until about like a year ago or so that we got a talkback mic for Nick Kubley, the drummer. And as all you guys know, Nick Kubley is a very quiet-spoken individual. You know what I mean? Like, so when we got him a talkback mic, it was like, great, this is going to be fantastic. Like, if he needs something, he can just talk to me on it, whatever, blah, blah. And him being a drummer, he doesn't, often sing into microphones or whatever. So he would talk into his talkback, but basically at the normal volume that you speak to a person sitting next to you. So absolutely could not hear him at all.
And you have talkback mics gated, so they're not picking up.
Yeah, so I would see him speaking, and like he's, obviously needs something. I'm like, oh God, I know he needs something. But it would literally end up me being like, literally scream into your microphone, because obviously he's like playing drums and doing a million other things at the same time, but just speaking at his normal volume. It's like, yeah, this microphone was no help. Just yell. So that's the opposite of Donald.
Pacific Dub has the talkback mics, like one for Dave drumming and one for the stage. And Colton only uses it to talk shit about Pat, the merch guy. Who's also he'll just walk over in the middle of the bridge and be like, "Hey, Alex, Patty sucks. Thanks."
See, I turned the tables on Colton when it was like a year ago now. I went out and did a tour with them on the East Coast, and they had a talkback mic from the monitor board. I was doing monitors and TMing, and they had a talkback mic so the band could hear me, but no one else could. And so I was just talking shit to the band members the entire time they were performing, and I don't think they were prepared for it. And I absolutely should not have been doing that, by the way. That's the same don't mic. Distract your artist while you're performing. But that's exactly what I did, because it was just too funny, and it was Colton. Come on, guys. Yeah. Come on. It's Colton.
He's not playing anyway. It's all tracks, right?
Yeah.
He knows I love him.
Oh no.
Hey, tell me I'm wrong.
I gotta be honest, my favorite person on the talkback mic is Zeb from Tribal Seeds.
Oh,
Zeb's like a legend, dude. He's played with like every big name in reggae music, and it's just so funny. Tribal C's got a lot going on, right? They got a lot going on in their ears, a lot going on behind the scenes in the set, and he's got to stay so on. He just sits there and like yells, like, it's so funny, man. It's phenomenal.
I love that. Yeah,
It's like
that's
a
what those things
choir
are
thing.
for.
What?
So Monica wants to know, how does someone get started managing tours?
Oh man.
I mean, everybody's slightly different.
There's a good answer and there's a bad answer. And
Let's go with the bad answer.
It's either you're at the right place at the right time or you're at the wrong place at the right time.
I got originally hired just to be the tech by Ballyhoo's old sound guy, Robbie Gosweiler. I love you.
Robbie.
And then they just, as I kept working with them, the guys were like, hey, we need someone to TM, and just started showing me more stuff to do and just started doing more stuff. Like, hey, here's a few more bucks. Do this too. Like, all right.
Alex, I got $2 more. Can you pack up my drum kit?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the band,
Paycheck.
On that note, it depends on the band. Like Ballyhoo's, like they're real self-sufficient for the most part. Other bands are not that way all the time.
I mean, I know a lot of people ask, like, they're like, can you go to school for like, being a tour manager or stuff like that? And I honestly don't know, like, is there school for tour managing guys? Like, is that a thing? I don't know.
There is.
Is there? Okay. Yeah. That'd be so weird. I mean, but almost every tour manager I've ever met has some story that's just like, I don't know, like, all of a sudden I was just a tour manager one day. Like,
advanced shows.
You gotta like want to do it. It's not like it's like a weird like job.
Yeah.
You gotta want to do it. You gotta like find the band. Like if you come up with a band like that you're friends with, it's like always like a great way to get in. For me, like I met Ballyhoo on the 311 cruise, and then I like went out on the Warped Tour with somebody else, and like met JR at catering. And then went back to their van and smoked a bowl, and then like 2 weeks later, the tour manager just like became friends, and like they needed somebody, and like so random, But I like wanted to do that, I like set out to like go out there and do that. So
yeah, you.
I think you gotta have the drive, like you gotta learn through. You gotta like want to go get it, and then you gotta learn your way through the industry, through other people, and just keep your head down and work,
Yeah. And the thing about that is like, with like everyone assumes like the tour manager is like the highest spot on touring, which you're the tour manager. Effectively, that's kind of how it works, but you're always still learning more things. Like literally every tour I've ever been on, I've learned something that's like, wow, I've been doing that completely wrong all like this whole time. Like constantly. You're constantly learning new stuff. And that with like, you're surrounded by so many other jobs, like, the sound engineer, hospitality managers, the merch guys, merch people, sorry. And you're constantly working around other jobs that I'm always just trying to learn from all the jobs. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like you're always going to learn something new from your sound guy. You're always going to learn something new from the merch guy. You're always going to learn something new from the artist, you know what I mean? And that's key for staying employed also as far as touring, because obviously with what's happening right now, no one's employed. But like, there are times where there are breaks in between tours where it's like, hey, I need money. I need to keep working. And if the more jobs the more jobs you've taught yourself and not just, pigeonhole yourself in what job it is you're doing, that's how you're going to pick up gigs and more bands and keep your lights on at home, basically.
And as the tour manager, you're interacting with everyone on the tour. So you're seeing all the jobs. You're constantly in contact with your sound guy, your merch guy, your light guy. If you have enough money to bring somebody out like that, all the crew guys, and then you learn how to read the contracts properly, talk, how to deal with promoters, how to deal with like fires when they start, like when shit goes crazy and you got to like diffuse it. there's lots of things, and
Support bands. You're dealing with the support bands and everything that they need.
Their crew. You're dealing with their crew.
Luckily, we tour with a lot of really great support bands. Made a lot of friends over the years.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to manage anything in life, you got to know, you have to have a like grasp on everything that you're managing and overseeing, because you really are like as a tour manager, and then like big bands get bigger, you get a production manager, but you're really overseeing the whole tour, as far as like logistics, your bus drivers, your hotel rooms, your accounting, settling all the shows, making sure that everybody's getting paid. I mean, you're handling everything. You're overseeing just the mindsets of different people on the tour, right? You got to be basically the tour dad, tour mom is like the joke,
They call me Mr. Alex. I'm the
captain. So
Papa.
Yeah. I think knowing a part of everything, to be able to manage people properly is important, to get in.
Yeah, it's very easy to get frustrated doing all of that too. And I've learned the hard way some days. You got to kill everybody with kindness. You just no matter what.
And Alex had to learn that because Alex gets frustrated a lot.
Yeah.
I always ask Alex if he wants help. Whenever I'm at a festival, but I'm not working with them, working with another band. I'm like, hey, dude, you want me to help me? And he's like, get away from me.
It's just quicker for me to know my checklist.
I know. I shouldn't even ask, but I just want to help.
I appreciate you. I love you.
But it's funny you say that because it really takes someone to stop you. And I tell this all the time, friends or fans that are coming to shows. If I'm inviting a guest or a friend or whatever, I always tell them I'm gonna be running around doing tour manager stuff. Unless you physically stop me and say hi, I'm not gonna even probably see you. I'm running around. You literally have to stop me and shut my brain off of tour managing for a second, just to be hey, or to take a breather. You know what I mean? And that also comes with tour managing, where I all the time have to other crew members stop them and be like, yo, dude, you're killing it. You're doing a good job. But stop.
It's always nice.
Take a breath. I have a great story that Pacifier did this festival called, I think it was called Funkatronic or something. I don't know, something. It had a weird name.
Reggaetronic?
Yeah, maybe that. I don't know. It was on a boat. And there was water. And there was it was a beach scene and boats and people on floats and sea-doos and whatnot. And the stage was terribly set up, and there was no front of house because front of house was water, because we were literally facing a lake. And so my sound engineer Zach is running around trying to put out all these fires, and the sound is not working right, whatever, blah blah blah. And I could see him sweating bullets, about to have a heart attack. And I literally stopped him. I grabbed him by the shoulders. I was like, Zach, stop. Turn around and look, and behind him, 20 feet away, were 3 girls in bikinis twerking. And I was like, look at that for 5 seconds. Enjoy that. All right, go back to work. Go.
We did the same festival a year or two before, and the changeover was a nightmare. I had to drill a screw in front of Donald's kick drum because there was no rug, so it wouldn't move. And then after we finally started, a couple songs in, I just dove off the front of the stage and went swimming.
Nice.
Yeah, the band's got it from here.
At that show before Pacifier started the set, we were all setting up on stage, and Mike DeGuzman was setting up his keys towards the front of the stage, and he didn't know that there was an air cannon right next to where he was setting up, and they decided to test the air cannon when he was right there, and it basically almost blew his face off. And it was one of those what's happening right now? People are dying. So yeah, don't let your keyboardist die. That's another tip.
Good rule of thumb.
Good rule of thumb. Yeah.
True managing tip: don't let your artist die. And I'm sure all of us can tell stories of our artists almost dying. I know I have a million of them, but
Scott landed on a bottle with his face
at Ted's house.
Yeah, at Ted's house.
What's your Let's talk about everybody's favorite day on the tour, the hometown show.
Oh my God.
That's an oxymoron.
Yeah. I don't want to say that that's a bad day because it's a hometown show and it's like,
it's just busier.
It's just super busy. Yeah. It's just because all the local friends and family come out, and it's great because it's great to see everyone, hometown and whatnot. But it's just like from a tour managing standpoint, it's just the guest list is going to be 1 million people.
The venue's going to get mad about it.
Yeah.
And you got to tell the venue like, hey,
yeah,
all these people are going to come in.
Sorry.
This is his father's brother's cousin's former nephew.
Yeah, exactly. Tribal Seeds guest list used to be over 200 people every time in San Diego. And, you become friends with all these people over the years of working with them. It's the same thing with Ballyhoo shows, like, tons of people there. And, like, you want to hang out with everybody, but you can't,
You literally.
And they're all going to come ask you, hey, can I do this? Or, hey, can I do that? Like, you don't want to be, like, a dick to them. But it's just like, why can't you just, like, hang out?
Yeah.
Why can't you just buy an overpriced beer and enjoy the music?
Yeah. Go out there.
We were on that tour with Iration back in February, and Colin, their TM, great dude. He handles this shit so
He's the
well.
man. He's the fucking man.
There were a couple nights where there was like family and friends, and like one of them specifically, I think it was one in Kansas, in Lawrence. And next thing you know, our green room is just overrun by like Micah's entire family. Lives in Kansas, I guess.
Yeah, Poosh's whole family came upstairs.
Yeah.
I grabbed the cake and the Jameson and was like, bye.
See you later. But he walks around. He's like, all right, who needs a cup? All right, the wine's over there. He's just very, very nice and accommodating and just sweet. It's great too because this can pivot us to hiring people that that represent the band well, because your entire crew, when you're a band and you're hiring your crew out, remember that no matter what, they're an extension of you, and they're going to be representing you out there in public when you're backstage or in the van or whatever, waiting to go on. So it's very important for your tour manager, your crew guys, and whoever else, that they're good people, and they either so when someone comes up and asks a question, a family member or something, that they don't get some shit answer, or some shitty look, you know what I mean? Because that reflects back on the band, and we've always been really good about finding those types of people. We try to find people that are like us and just are fun, cool, chill, like to goof off, whatever, but are also personable. So thank you guys for always being that way.
Yeah, sometimes my face shows the complete opposite.
Oh, yeah.
I'll wear a feeling on my face, but I'm like,
yeah. Everyone's always like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm great, man.
Yeah.
I'm doing all right. You need anything?
Yeah, I've literally had like a fan like stop me and be like, "Are you pissed right now?" And I'm like, "No, there's just a million things going on. Sorry, I just don't. Yeah, I'm fine."
Yeah, people don't.
The tour manager holds a lot of hats, and being a party planner is another one of them. Accommodating the family and the guests. Like per city. Because like these people, like they care about these band members. They care about the band. They care about everything that's going on, and like they want to have a good time, and like it is part of your job to make sure that happens as well.
Yeah, it's like the best house party you've ever been to, but it's at your house. It's at your house every night.
Yeah.
For like 40
and
minutes.
it's not even your house, your parents' house.
And think about when that house is like a tube with 12 to 15 people on it. And then you get 20 other people in there. It's horrible.
I know, right? I know it's crazy when you're on your bus and you got to go back to your bunk and
come on, Howard, you did work for
There's all these people.
I'm
on
glad
there.
somebody finally brought up the bus. Someone.
Right, let's talk about the
bus. Oh, yeah, when I was on that bus and all.
I've been on a bus for years, players.
Hey man, hey,
We know.
yeah. Hey man, I was on the bus the whole time I toured with the Expendables, and it's great and all. I just don't talk about it all the time.
Trust me, it's way more frustrating at the end of the day when you get into your Sprinter van looking for safe space, and there's like 9 people smoking weed, and you're just fuck.
Hey, guys, I'm still in a van. So, and you know what? We make it work with a smile. So you guys,
we did that van life for 11 years, and we finally did the Sprinter, man. We were about our sixth E350 or something was about to explode. It had like 450,000 miles on it. You know, it was just it was a wreck. I think the rear end was out again. It was like everything was messed up, and I was like, we're not doing this again. We're not. I want to be 40 soon. You know, like fuck this. You know, like trying to lay in a. I mean, look, anybody laying in a bench, it's gonna suck. You know, but like when you're people like Donald and I, you know, like we're 6'5", 6'6", and we got our knees are like this. My knees, I really thought by the time, like before I'm 50, I'm about to get like knee operations. I really did. This is a true thought. I used to tell Danielle all the time. And then we got the Sprinter. You know, finally we made it happen. It got built out. Alex was a part of the build out. It was, and as soon as we did that, like within a week on tour, my knee pain went away because we used to tour we were on the road like 250 days out of the year, you know, in an E350, and like suddenly I can stretch. The bunks are 6'8", you know, like, and my knee pain went away, you know. So there's a lot more comfort, but I feel like we earned it. You know, we did a lot of work. We worked really hard on the road for years, you know, just tearing it up, and finally it just felt like a gift to ourselves, you know. It's like, all right, man, we can afford this payment every month. You know what I mean? We're at that point, and
you guys did it right though with that, you know. I mean, even like the little cooler spot. I mean, you guys really thought of like every little thing there.
Yeah.
That thing came out pretty good.
You think that until somebody's sitting on it and someo's like, "Hey, can I get in the cooler?"
That's the one thing we call it the hot seat.
Yeah.
But it's better than the first Sprinter we had for Warped Tour in 2012, where that we call it the splash zone.
Oh yeah.
Top, you'd be sitting there. It's like
what I call this room.
No laptops, no phones. You know, like just don't sit there with any of that stuff, because if you're sitting there, you're gonna get dumped on. You're like a gallon of water dumps on you every night after Warped Tour, because all this condensation builds up, and you take that right turn, it goes. And you're like, yeah.
We had a lot of people in that Sprinter van that time too. Me, Greg, and Donnie Hill all alternating in the bottom coffin bunk and the floor and that couch spot. It was, man.
Dude, fucking Jeff was driving. It was like one night we were doing like 80, 90, you know, and like we hit some bump, dude, and we left the road. All of us jumped up. Oh my God, I nearly pooped myself. It was just like boom, like it was.
He called the shit poop.
Yeah.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
It was,
that was a grind, man. But Warped Tour was like one of the best things I ever did. Just because it was like boot camp, dude. Like it was like, it changed everything. Because I remember when people were telling me club tours are going to be so much harder because it was actually Sam Holm, our backline guy. Remember, he was like, "Oh, dude, club tours are so much harder, man, because Warped Tour sets up everything for you." I got to the club tour, I was like, "Dude, it's air conditioned."
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a great thing to bring up. I know I mentioned Warped Tour earlier, but that is like, if anyone wants to ask, like, you know, how can I learn about, you know, going on tour or doing that, whatever. Unfortunately, Warped Tour, you know, its full capacity isn't a thing anymore. But Warped Tour is basically what I think like boot camp for anyone touring in any sort of position at all. Just because it's great if you're going as a guest. It was a great festival. You get to see 1 million bands at one time. But then also the flip side of that is that it is 1 million bands every day, out in the hot sun all day long, and it's it's literally people fall by the wayside. I know people that have straight up just been like, leave me on the side of the road. I'm not doing this tour anymore. Like, I'm dying. Like, that's the tour that makes you men or win men. You know,
That's
it's
a tough story.
really, you really cut your teeth on Warped Tour, and it's for it is mainly for like the simple things like air conditioning, like a toilet that isn't a porta potty that's been in the sun, you know, all day, and like just being dirty all day long.
Yeah.
And it's just
I would track my steps, and I think I averaged like 11 miles a day walking.
Because everything's so far away. It's like, oh, your stage is over there, but your merch is over there. And by the way, catering is back there.
Yeah.
And your bus is not even in this time zone.
Yeah, that was definitely the tour to the hardest tour to do for sure. And I remember both times that we did it all summer, and everybody crushed it. It's one of those things where you got to work hard to stick out. And I mean, Alex he got tour manager of the day.
Oh, that was a fun story. Should I tell that story?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're in Maryland, home show. This is probably close to a month in. And I go to production at Merriweather and see my girls, Tater and Sabine, hanging out there talking to them. And they're like, hey, we're doing this new thing, like TM of the day. And like, we chose you today. I was like, really? That's awesome. And they're like, yeah, we're going to draw you a picture and stuff. And like 30 seconds later, Kevin Lyman comes in the hall. Where the fuck is the road manager for Ballyhoo Rocks? Where is that? I just froze. I was like, what? And then I heard what was going on. He said there was something about a post on Twitter. So I'm trying to call Howie because I know he does the socials. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Lisa calls me as I'm running to the bus. She's just like, hey, we need to figure this out. They're getting ready to pull your set. I'm like, getting ready to shit myself. I get to the bus. I'm like, Howie, what's going on with this Twitter post? And he's just like, I sent a direct message to Kevin. I didn't post anything. So I brought Howie down to the office. We talked to Kevin, and he was screaming before we get in the office. He's like, hey guys. So I don't know what you think you would gain from posting something. Howie's like, no, it was a direct message. I didn't post anything. Kevin looks at his phone. He's like, oh, okay, thanks. I'm still just
they always change their vibe when the artist walks in the room. You know, it's
and
like, okay.
I walked back out to the production table, and I was just like, TM of the day. Is this a fucking joke? Did you know? It was the most ironic. I was still panicking the rest of the day.
That was a weird moment. It was like you don't want to get called to the office. You know, you don't want to call to the principal's office on Warped Tour. You know,
it was so surreal. And then later, I hit Howie in the face with a flag on stage.
Oh yeah, same day, right with the flagpole. Boom. That was my fault though.
I was standing in one spot.
Yeah, I ran right into it. It was perfect. He was swinging like this. He was like waving the Ballyhoo flag like this on the Maryland stage, and it was like me running. And, yeah, right in the eye.
You know, there's probably 2,000 people in the amphitheater.
In the amphitheater. Whatever.
I wonder if you saw.
Yeah. We got to go back to not killing your artists.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes.
It's hard sometimes.
It's hard.
It's like herding cats.
I was going on Facebook because the Facebook comments aren't coming through today. I saw a warning from them earlier, so they're trying to fix it. But I was trying to see if anybody had any questions over here. If you guys got any questions, shoot, man. What's your guys? What's your favorite thing about tour managing?
Oh
Be a
man.
part of creating the experiences in life for all the people out there, man. I mean, that's why I do it. That's why I've done it in multiple different, avenues. Is just that. I like being behind the scenes and doing that. It's like for love of music and like pushing that message out and like pushing, good music out in general.
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint one thing. He said it. That's
Yeah.
really what it is. It's just
There's that moment, like either if you're tour managing or stage teching or whatever, it's like when the band starts playing and they started on time, they start exactly on time. There's like a good like 30-second period where like obviously while the band's playing, you still have stuff to do and whatnot. But for like the first 30 seconds of their set where everything went right and the band's performing, the guys in the band are doing what they love, and then the crowd is loving it. Like they're, that's why they came. They came, to see this artist, have a great, for whatever reasons they came, they're going to enjoy the hell out of the night. Those 30 seconds where you can just stop and be like, we're doing it.
You're right though, DB. That 30 seconds every night, and it's only 30 seconds because right after that 30 seconds is over.
Yeah, right after that,
right? So, but there's always that moment in the night that you have, or it always happens, and it like just brings you back down to reality about it, and like being like, man, this is why I do this,
Yeah.
It's weird to say. It's like a movie. Shit slows down for those few seconds. You're just like, that's why. All right.
Yep. It was all worth it.
And it's without fail every show, no matter what. Even if everything went completely wrong and still things aren't fixed and there's feedback and there's stuff going on and something else is gonna happen and some guest in the green room just had a heart attack and is dying or whatever, blah blah. But those, you'll get to that.
I feel like typically when your band is on though, that's like the one time where like nobody's really asking any questions.
Exactly.
Unless it's a hometown.
No one asks you any questions.
Where's my beer? Where's my whatever? Is my guest in?
Hometown show. That's the only time.
Yeah.
Jen wants to know. Jen wants to know what your from Facebook wants to know what your favorite venue to work at is on tour. Alex.
Ooh, I got a couple. Pretty much Virginia has it on lock. What's the name of the theater in Richmond?
The National.
Yes, the National is awesome. The Norva. God damn. And I like going to the Catalyst in Santa Cruz just because of the vibes.
Yeah.
That's just always fun.
This is awesome.
There's a lot to rattle off, but those are like my top ones.
DB?
Yeah. I would say Janus is one of my favorites. Yep. Love that venue. That was kind of for a time when Ted was living down in St. Pete, where Janus is. That kind of became kind of like a loose hometown where, it was a hometown show, so it was hectic and it was crazy. But it's just an awesome venue, and the people that run it are really cool. And it just runs smooth, and it's just an awesome venue. That's always the one that kind of always sticks out for me. Love Janus.
Donovan?
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you guys. The Norva is definitely one of my favorites. I just love the house crew there, and it's by far the best green room in the country. Any band will tell you that. You really feel like a rock star when you go to the Norva, And then Janus Live is just it's always like the best night of tour, right? Because like all those bars are around there. The vibe is always phenomenal there. The house crew there is so good. You don't
have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything. It's like easiest day as like far as like crew goes. Like Janus Live is by far the easiest day. You're always up early, and then Red Rocks is cool. Red Rocks is like not that great on the crew side of things. Like it's a very busy day. All the bands always go like bigger at Red Rocks. But when you stand on that stage and it's like the headliner's on and you look up to 10,000 people, there's nothing like it, man. So I would have to drop that one in there too.
That's the dream for sure. That's all of our friends' bands have played there except us. So we're gonna get there though. We're gonna get there.
We're gonna do it.
Let's see. Angela wants to know if on Facebook here, do you guys have any fangirling moments while being a TM on tour?
I would say I had one, and it was like right when I first started. I was with Ballyhoo. We were at the Norva.
I knew it.
Okay. We went to hang out with Pepper there. We weren't playing. We were just going to hang out with the Pepper guys.
Oh, I remember this.
And the Norva, the way it works is like there's two elevator doors that open, And when those elevator doors opened, all of a sudden Cypress Hill came running in the other side, and I held the door for them. I ended up making friends with them in the elevator ride up, and I ended up hanging out with Be Real and Sin Dog all night, and it was fucking awesome.
That was it's also a rap artist. We did a festival in San Bernardino, and Method Man and Redman were the headliner, and they weren't letting a lot of people up on stage, but I had made friends with one of the crew guys. He's like, hey, just stand over here. And I got to be like 10 feet from them. That was fucking awesome. And then they were in catering afterwards. Just like Redman's just yelling about how awesome the broccoli is. I'm like, this is real.
Anything?
I don't know if I've had a fangirl moment. I feel like in moments that I should be fangirling out, I do the you be cool. Be cool.
Yeah. Well, you always gotta be cool, but like internally, like, man, this is pretty cool, dude. Like, what am I doing? You know?
I guess a recent one. It wasn't so much like a fangirling, but I actually worked a festival. I was with Ballyhoo because Alex didn't want to do it, obviously. But it was a show that we did where I think it was in Florida, where Sugar Ray was the headliner that day. And I remember during Ballyhoo set, I was standing side stage and I'm just kind of hanging out or whatever. And then I happened to see a tall shadow loom over me. And I was just like, what the hell? I turned around and it was Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray, who I wasn't necessarily the biggest Sugar Ray fan or whatever, but just turning around, all of a sudden him standing there. And the first thing that came through my mind was I didn't know Sugar Ray was still a thing. I didn't know they were still touring and doing shows. So he's also really tall. Insanely tall. So I think his height and just I never expected to cross paths with Mark McGrath for any reason whatsoever.
He's very famous.
Yeah. So I definitely did hi. And it was one of those he was rocking out. He was loving Ballyhoo and he was rocking out or whatever. And I definitely did the obvious, let me get out of your way, sir, oh my God, you're a very famous individual. Let me let you, whatever. And he was just rocking out and high five me or whatever. And I was just this is cool and also strange at the same time. So yeah, that was only a year ago. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. Remember shows?
Yeah, remember shows?
Those are cool.
Yeah. Remember work?
Doing work. Yeah, well, this is fun, dudes. I'm glad we finally got to do this. Alex kind of suggested. I was like, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Get on the.
Haven't we been trying to do this for forever?
Probably a year ago that I suggested it. But now we have the time. We got everybody together. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only had to postpone it 9 times.
Yeah. Now let's go play video games.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Also, I have to give a shout out to Adam Frankel because he sent me a PlayStation 4 after Amazon screwed me. Yeah, it arrives tomorrow and we're going to start gaming. So
yeah.
Thank you, Adam.
That's amazing. Okay, yeah. I didn't know that. I thought you decided to buy one.
I tried to, and then Amazon delayed it, and I was like, you know what? Give me my money back. And then 2 days later, he texted me. He's like, hey, mate, I'm sending you my spare. And I was just like,
that's amazing.
Coolest shit ever.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you guys for coming onto the show. I appreciate it, man. This is really awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Howie, for having us. This was fun.
A lot of fun going down the road there together.
Yeah, let's do some shows, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's do some shows soon.
Who do we write a letter to so that they'll do shows again?
Duderman.
I don't know.
Yeah. Duderman.
I'll get it done.
If anybody's going to get them going, it's Duderman.
Howard, I'm telling you right now, just because only those of us that tour know who or what a Duderman is, you absolutely have to get him on this show. You absolutely. There's no
podcast with him before, but get him on this.
Yeah, I had him on the pod before, but I got to get him on the video and do an update. That's just
see those ice blue eyes.
Yeah, you got to see those baby blues.
Yeah. Basically, everyone will get to see what the three of us are eventually going to turn into one day.
What, fucking handsome?
Yeah. We're all going to eventually look good. At however goddamn old he is.
I know. He looks like he's fucking 30.
He's regenerating.
How does he do it?
He's on it. Well, dudes, thank you so much, man. Have a great day and weekend, and I don't know, have a great month. I don't know when I'm going to see you.
Yeah, sure. However long it is.
Yeah, what month is it even now?
I think it just turned April.
It's gonna be May.
No, yeah, man. Appreciate you guys having them on. Thanks everybody for the questions. Thanks for tuning in to episode 115 of Tales from the Green Room. I'm your host, Howie Spangler, and make sure you're following all these guys on the Instagram. And Donovan doesn't have one, I guess. And yeah,
Incognito.
Yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe. If you're on Facebook, please share the video. And yeah, man, take it easy. We'll see you soon.
Later,
Thanks,
guys.
Bye.
Later.